and it's past, so I'll get everybody in. Okay, right. If you're watching on YouTube, the session is about to start. Just waiting for one more school to join. We're having a little difficulty. Okay, let's go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Teaching Live. It's week 2 of Malamander, and we were really pleased with some of the poems that got submitted last week. The gallery's looking good, and 1 or 2 bits of audio were submitted as well. So well done, everybody. I left a few comments on 1 or 2 posts on 1 or 2 schools, and we'll perhaps look at doing a little bit of commenting later on. But it's a beautiful day here in North Lancashire, and we're all ready to rock. How are you this morning, Pie?
I'm in cracking good form. I was up early, nice sunny day, and I'm ready to rock and roll this morning. So yeah, all good. And you, David?
Yeah, all good here. All green lights on the technology. Everything seems to be working well, which is good. The sun is out. Can't wait to get started.
Okay, well, let's get straight into it. So as ever, we'll start with a little warm-up game just to get us thinking. If you get any good ideas that you think, oh, I might want to use that when I come to do my blog post, then make sure you jot them down in your writing journal or at the back of a book or whatever. So what we're going to be writing about today is celebrating things in the local area. I had a sort of a go at it last week with our Days of the Week piece of writing. So things in the local area. And I think John has I've got a prompt list in the teaching notes that might be worth getting up. And we're going to use the opening phrase, what I love about. So the idea is, David, you think of something. So it might be a creature of some sort. It might be trees, bushes, plants, flowers, etc. It might be places, might be special events in the local area, things you can see, hear, touch, taste, smell, might be the weather or the seasons. And of course, it might be objects. And the objects might be the sort of thing you get in school or the sort of thing that you have at home or out and about. But you're trying to choose out things that are really special. And we're going to use the phrase, what I love about, to introduce the idea. So I might say, for creatures, I might say, well, we do get badgers here. They're a bit annoying, actually, because they come and rootle for worms in the garden and dig holes. But what I love about badgers is that they are like silent late night thieves stealing up the lanes and into the gardens.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with what I love about George Allen. For those of you who don't know, George Allen's my dog. What I love about George Allen are his eyebrows, which are full of expression.
Okay, I'll do. We do in the valley here. We do get buzzards, huge birds, massive wingspan. So what I love about buzzards is the way that they circle endlessly on the warm air, which helps them rise high up into the sky.
What I love about the River Lostock, which runs literally just outside my house here. So what I love about the River Lostock is the diamond trickles that flow towards the Irish Sea.
What I love about the Chalford Canal, which is down in the valley, what I love about it is the way the kingfishers flicker across the dark brown depths of the cold canal water.
I'm trying to think where else I'd go. Oh, we've got what I love about Shaw Hill, which is a little area across the main road from there, which is really pretty to walk through. What I love about Shaw Hill is the sound of silence.
We have a thing called in Cirencester called the Mop Fair. What I love about the Mop Fair is that every year we visit, and you can get a list of a few things: the smell of the hot dog stand, the sweet melting crunch of the, what's that pink stuff called you get at fairs?
Candy floss.
Of the candy floss. Yeah, it's probably really bad for your teeth. And the sound, yeah, the sound of the dodgems bashing against each other.
I'm going to do an event. So what I love about the Whitley Woods duck race.
Oh,
it's a very special occasion. What I love about the Whitley Woods duck race is the hustle and bustle of families having fun.
What I love.
I'm going to do one, Pie, if I can.
Yeah, go on, crack on.
The next village to me is the village of Ray. And at this time of year, they have a Scarecrow Festival. What I love about the Scarecrow Festival is the giant scarecrows that parade through the village at the end of the week.
I find scarecrows scary, a bit like clowns.
The Ray Scarecrow Festival is getting so big that it's on the BBC website yesterday, so you can look it up. It's under Lancashire if you look it up. The Ray Festival.
I'm going to do a weather one. What I love about lightning is the way that it sizzles and crackles, snapping across the black night like an electric whip.
Very good. What I love about Manchester Airport. Bear with me. What I love about Manchester
Airport.
Yeah, I've been there.
is the feeling of unbridled joy and what is about to happen.
That's into a 3-hour security queue.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick somebody up. I'm going on holiday, by the way.
Yeah, I like that one. Let's end with an object. So I'm looking around myself. Oh, I love this. During lockdown, one of the things that we did was we made little boxes. And this one is sort of roundish box, and those are coloured shells off the beach. So we went to the beach, spent hours collecting shells, and then painted a design and glued the shells on top. So what I love about my shell box is the way that the yellow shells shine in the sunlight. Okay, I think it's a fairly easy one, John. People have got to think of real things that they really, really like and say what they like about them. Bounce it backwards and forwards in pairs. I would have thought 4 minutes on the clock, John, for this.
Yeah, I've got 4 minutes on the clock, and I've got the prompt sheet. So lots of things that you could have done that we didn't mention. Things like food, things like shops, your favourite shops. Things like what else? All sorts of things. Your favourite armchair, your favourite sofa, all loads and loads of different things that you can do. Favourite smells. They're all on the prompt sheet. So just going to bring up the countdown timer. I'm going to start you off now. Okay, that marks the end of the game. So we're going to go straight to the TeachingLive website now. And just before we go, I'll just remind you you go along the green menu bar until you reach sessions, and then we're on the 9:30 session page, which will say at the top of it, today's date, session 2. So I'm just going to quickly point out a couple of things before we go on to the Padlet. First of all, well done to all these schools. They've got writing on the site already. Hawthorne, Rushton, Trithel, Chorley St James, Bolton Parish, and I can't read that. I haven't got my glasses on.
Rosenwyn?
Not sure that one should be there. That's that tag's a bit of an odd one. I don't know what that tag's doing there. So, but the other 5 are definitely schools that are engaged in have already submitted writing. So if you haven't submitted writing and your tag hasn't appeared, as soon as you do so, your tag will appear in this tag cloud, and you can see that Hawthorne have got 29 posts, which is not bad for a school that's doing it for the very first time. Well done, Hawthorne. And Chorley St James, old friends, and Bolton Parish, but both old friends of the project, getting involved. And if you click on your tag, I'll click on Rushton because I know Rushton very well. It's the next village to where I grew up. And we can see they've got 3 posts there. And if you click on the post title, it takes you to the actual post itself. And I can see that this poem was written by Jessica at Rushton. And I left a comment on the poem for you, Jessica. We really like it when people visit and read the poems and stories and leave comments. And we've got a little comment model here, which we like everybody to use, which is to say something positive, to ask a question, and to suggest an improvement. So if you want to leave a comment on a poem, please do. And the comment I wrote here to Jessica was, well done for submitting your first poem, Jessica. We enjoyed reading it. We love the phrase night black beach in your last line. And I can't spell. You chose the same verb, dancing, in your first 2 lines. We wondered if you could find a different verb to replace one of them to avoid repetition. Great start. So we do like it when people leave comments on children's work. Teachers, the same. Please do always, and try and leave it on not just your own pupils, but across the project. So we always like that when teachers leave comments on people's blog posts, particularly in other schools, and all that kind of thing. But we'll talk more about commenting as we go. So we'll crack on now. Click on Padlet Activity 1. And Pie, what are we up to?
Okay, so the final piece of writing is going to contain the idea of making a list. Part of it is going to be a list of what you think is one of the, now these are sort of in a way everyday things, but one of the everyday things that you have in your area that you think, oh, that's really special. There's a patch of mint right by where the car is parked. And every time I go out to the car, I stop and I just get a leaf, and the smell of that mint is amazing. That might be one of my things. I think I could be that as being one of the things I really, really like about living here that I enjoy. So I made a list of them. And one of the things you'll notice, John, is I've done a lot of what we call name it. So instead of in the second one saying it could be the birds nesting in the woods, I've named the type of birds, the rooks, nesting in Sharpham woods. First one, it could be the London eye at night, like a glittering spinning wheel. So I've gone for a simile there to bring it alive. It could be the rooks nesting in Sharpham woods. It could be frost, like cut glass jewels in Stratford Park. That's the park in Stroud. It could be the robin's flame-grilled chest as it flickers onto the bird feeder. It could be the Stroud Canal winding its way through the Golden Valley. It could be the sudden dash flash of the kingfisher in a flare of electric blue. It could be the fallow deer in morning sunlight by the hedge on strawberry banks. It could be the rowan berries like buttons of blood freckling the hedge. Another little image there, the buttons of blood and freckling. So really choosing my verbs and adjectives carefully. It could be the dodgems at the mop fair. Sometimes it's just enough to name it. It could be the rooks nesting in Sharpen Woods. Not used any adjectives there. And it's, in a way, very straightforward, but I've made it particular and special by using the name Rooks and Sharpen Woods. And it somehow brings it alive. And we're looking at the conditional, John. The conditional is could. It could be. So conditionals are could, would, and should, basically. Could, would, and should. In this case, we're going to do could be. So my best thing could be. I mean, you've got to think broadly as we were. Now you're turning it into sentences. So we're looking for the capital letter, full stop, well-chosen words, name it, and go for the little detail that makes it special for you.
Can you unfreeze the Padlet, David?
Unfreeze the Padlet.
It says frozen, see, in the top corner there, Pie. And while it's frozen, it doesn't have a plus sign, so I can't write anything. There we go. So,
no. And I can see. So you put your name at the top.
Please put your school. It's always we really like name checking schools.
Yeah,
and I'm going to start off. It could be.
It could be
golden carpet of needles on the path to Oyston's Gate. So we have a wood with a lot of yew trees in, and every beginning of autumn, lots of the needles fall off, and the path up the hill literally goes golden in color. It's quite amazing. It could be the blooming flowers in spring, like a new baby being born. Maria from Bolton Parish. Great. What sort of flowers do you most associate with spring, Maria? I can think of a couple. Right now, we've got lots of bluebells in the woods around here. It could be the night sky glistening, Hector from Lowlands. White snow, Faye. That's a bit like cold snow and freezing snow. Wonder if you can come up with a different adjective to describe the snow, because you've described it then like a giant white blanket. That's fine, but I wonder if you could come up with a different adjective to describe the snow.
Watch out for the full stops. Remember to double check. So Persephone from Lowlands and James Hawthorne, knit back and edit. So you just click on the 3 grey dots in the top right-hand corner of your little post-it. You've got an edit function. You can sort that out. Same as Blessing. You've missed the full stop of Blessing. And Nahid from Hallsville. Knit back and do a bit of editing.
I think Blessing has fallen for the same trick that my parents used to tell me. We used to have an ice cream van that came to the bottom of the road, and my parents always told me that the ice cream tasted of pepper.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand why there were children queuing up at the ice cream van, because this ice cream always tasted of pepper. It was odd. I think.
Oh, I quite feel quite sorry for you, John. I'm going to buy you an ice cream next time with you.
If you're in Chorley, then you'll know Frederick's, David, ice cream, which is a fantastic ice cream shop. So,
in fact, one of the audios that we're going to be playing, John, mentions Frederick's.
Does it? Right. It could be the stray dog howling in the dark night.
So Ibrahim and Rakib. It could be a glee of happiness. You need your full stop, but also try and be particular. What is it that's making you feel so happy, rather than just telling us that you're happy? So try and give me the detail there, and think of things that are real rather than making things up.
Yeah, so Isaac from Chorley St James, it could be the Chorley Ferris wheel. Ferris, Isaac, is Ferris. Ferris wheel at the Christmas fair, like a giant's wheel with sparkling gems sprinkled all over it. Wonder if you got Ferris wheel, you got wheel and wheel twice. I wonder if you can think of a different word to go there. A lot of people not using name it. It could be the red kites swooping over the playground. Havelock Juniors. Now that really tells me you're in Northamptonshire, because there are lots and lots of red kites that float around the sky in Northamptonshire. One of those areas where they've been a real success. They never used to be there when I was a child, but they are now. My mum puts out chicken in the back garden for them to come down.
One from Hallsville, Raid. It could be my local Asda, the cheap, warm baguettes, or the countless candies that could only be seen in a dream. I like countless candies, nice touch. And Reggie's done a bit of alliteration. Beautiful beaming bluebell trickling in the fragile shards of grass. I don't know if you need beautiful, Reggie. I think just beaming bluebell, the whole thing sounds beautiful. I don't think you need to tell me it's beautiful. Just the image itself will do. But well done, both of you. Now, Hudson and Sebi, I like the taste of chocolate. You could name it. What brand? What type of chocolate? Sacha and Aidan from Havelock. It could be the red kite swooping over the church with poppies flooding down the memorial like blood on a dead animal. That's powerful, John.
Yes, it is indeed. Well done. It could be an ancient oak tree standing next to a brown German shepherd. Well done, George. Rather than just a brown dog, it's a brown German shepherd using name it. There's a lot of people mentioning the sea glistening and the sea glittering, but where is the sea? Is it at Brighton Beach? Is it at Kings Lynn? Is it where is the sea? Whenever you mention general things like sea, there's always a good opportunity for name it.
Senna, I don't know if you can edit yours and I like the idea of the ivy growing up the gravestones of the dead in the graveyard opposite my garden. Lots of G's in there. Can you name the that would be a church one, I guess. If you can name it, that would add to it.
It could be the frosty icicles forming on a cold February night. I like that one, Maria. Bolton Parish.
Pippa and Lila from Loatland. It could be a black twilight dog running wild through the field under the bright blue sky. It's a twilight dog. I'm wondering about the bright blue sky, therefore, but it's an interesting image. It caught my attention. Erin, it could be the beautiful sunset warming a beige sandy beach. Again, can you name the beach? It could be the Chorley ice skating rink at the Christmas fair twinkling in the moonlight. Thing about beaches in England, John, the sea is often not twinkling and sparkling and anything like that. Might be in the Mediterranean.
The sea near me is Morecambe Bay, and sparkling and twinkling is not the kind of words that I would associate with Morecambe Bay. It could be an amber leaf falling from an autumn oak tree. I like that one, Caitlin and Danny. I like the autumn oak tree.
Albert and Sam from Wilberston. It could be the carved pumpkin glowing at Halloween. That's an interesting, fresh idea. Nobody's done that.
Brecken from Will Barston, Pie. Will Barston. It could be my rabbit on the sofa sleeping. I think you could make a little bit more of that one, Brecken. What's the name of your rabbit? It could be my rabbit Fluffy, whatever his name is, on the sofa sleeping sound. There's a good opportunity. Sofa sleeping soundly or sofa snoring soundly. There's a bit of an opportunity for a bit of alliteration there as well, I think.
So Lucy and Hannah from Havelock, it could be the warm sea. So what we're saying is, what sea? Is it the North Sea, the Atlantic Ocean?
Is it the sea where you went? Yeah, where you went on holiday in Mallorca, or it could be anywhere. It could be the bluebells with their colour at the side of the canal. Lovely, Millie. Well done. The canal in Chorley is the Leeds-Liverpool canal, isn't it, David?
It is indeed.
So it could be the Bluebells at the side of the Leeds-Liverpool canal, Millie, which I'm guessing is your local canal. It could be a ginger tomcats trotting on a path near the beach on a Sunday evening. Peaches from Trithel.
The Leeds-Liverpool Canal goes right next to Charlie St James's School.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We need to come out of the Padlet before we get carried away too far. And we're going to go to the session page. And I'm going to click on the blog challenge because at the bottom of the blog challenge page is the audio Padlet. And we're going to play two. One is
Aisha.
An audio from Aisha, who's in year 4. Aisha and Akbar, or Aisha Akbar, I'm not sure. In year 4 in Bolton Parish. Now, I'm pointing this one out because they use a website called Vocaroo, which is a really simple website for recording. So if you ever have any trouble doing recordings, use Vocaroo to do your recordings. So here is Aisha from Bolton Parish's poem.
A stroll around Bolton Parish. On Monday, I found a juicy sea green lollipop on the early years playground. On Tuesday, I smelled scrumptious salad waiting to be eaten by hungry year 4 pupils. On Wednesday, I touched glittery grey rocks in the early years playground. On Thursday, I smelled polluted air floating around the beautiful Earth's surface. On Friday, I heard eerie thick trees rustling in the glamorous forest. On Saturday, I went on a bike ride down from Rich Street and all the way to Castle Street. On my way home, I saw people walking slowly. On Sunday, I put my clothes in the washing machine, ready for another busy Monday.
That's really good, Aisha. Really like that. And there's a couple of things I really liked about it. One was I like the end, waiting for a busy Monday. I thought that was a really good way to end it because it sort of brings on the next week's poem, if you like. And I really like when you went on a bike ride and you mentioned the 2 streets names that you wrote down and to and from. So that was really good. There was a bit of repetition in there where you had the early years playground twice, but it was a really good. The only other thing I would say is when you do your recording, get everything ready and keep really still so you're not rustling your papers around and things like that. But other than that, it was a great recording and well done and really good because it was year 4. You're quite young for a lot of the recordings we have are years 5 and 6, and that was a year 4 recording. So well done. And the other one was further down. This one, Mia from Chorley St James.
On Monday, I found a pigeon's feather lying on the path, abandoned and alone until the wind carries it away. On Tuesday, I walked to Healy Nab, running up the hill, desperate for an adventure like an unknown explorer. On Wednesday, I saw ducks swimming in the canal, ripples of water following behind, quacking for food in the pockets of passers-by. On Thursday, I touched the trunk of an oak tree, swaying in the wind like a creaky old door. On Friday, I tasted the creamy vanilla ice cream that comes from Frederick's shop, the speckles of black staining my tongue. On Saturday, I heard the sound of birds chirping their wake-up song, flying past my window, looking for food to feed their young. On Sunday, I dreamed of the past week. I lay in my bed, smiling to myself, realising how good it truly was.
What do you think, Pie?
Yeah, I love that. Crystal clear as well, because we haven't got the text. The other one from Chorley St James, My Lucky Coin by Harley, that's another good one as well. So well done, Mia. Lots of good ideas in there. And a lot of the other ones are some really lovely little bits. Who's that? Isla from Bolton Parish. On Monday, I found a light pink blossom cherry tree with floating petals. down like a message from God, which I thought was a powerful line. So a lot of them had powerful lines. I think it's good if you can surprise the reader. So in Mia's, the birds were chirping. I've heard that a lot. So if you think you've heard it before, then work at those words, because you're not having to write lots. You're writing quite a small thing, really, but try and make each word earn its place and surprise the reader by not going for the obvious words. But that was great. Really got us going. A lot from Bolton Parish, a couple from Chorley St James. Now, we'd like to get more people on to the audio, wouldn't we, John?
We would. We'd love some of the new schools to have, you know, it's a bit brave, I guess, to sort of to read your poem, but practice, read it slowly and clearly, and keep everything still around you when you're recording. And as I just mentioned, Vocaroo is a great website to use if you're having trouble recording it on Padlet. And mentioning Padlet, we'll now go back to the session page and go on to Padlet number 2.
What, we'll do the gallery after that, John?
Yes.
Okay, so now another part. So you've got a it could be part in the piece of writing, but there's also another notice. So you're talking to the reader, you're saying, notice this, notice that, notice that, notice that up there. So I've made a list of everyday things that you might want to make special there, ordinary everyday things. And some of those, for instance, when I have my cup of tea, I've got a special cup that I really, really enjoy, and it's got bee designs. I like bees, they interest me. I always think that bees I'm slightly scared of them in case they sting me, but I love honey and I love the sound of the bees. I love the way they're constantly buzzing away, gathering the pollen and taking it back to the beehive. They're real workers, aren't they? So I got this special mug. It's a yellow mug and it's got these beautiful bees all over it. And that's and I want people to notice that. It's an everyday thing, but notice it. I enjoy it. I've given a list of techniques, John. We all know these. Alliteration when you repeat the sounds. We know about similes, and I don't know if we've had many so far using like and as. Personification, and that's the one where you make an object sound as if it's alive. So you might say something like the car moaned. Well, cars don't moan, but it makes it sound as if the car is alive. Kennings. That's where you think about something like, I don't know, a dog, and you think about what dogs do. So dogs bark, and you might say midnight barker. What do you think a nut thief is, John?
That's a squirrel, Pie.
It is a squirrel. That's a kenning. Name it, Lullaby's laundromat. So here's my, which is a laundromat. Here's my little model. Notice the satisfying squelch of mud. And I'm hoping with the satisfying squelch that it sort of makes a muddy, squelchy sound. Notice the rain on the window, like shiny tears. So I've used the like simile. Notice dust motes. Motes are those tiny specks of dust that you see when the sunlight's coming through the window and you see tiny little bits of dust. They're called motes. Notice dust motes caught adrift in sunlight, as quiet as a moth's flutter. So that's using a simile with as. Now I'm going to go for personification. Notice the rain-swept roads and the puddles swelling their bellies. Well, puddles don't have bellies, but when it rains, the puddle fills. So I'm saying it's a bit like a human. Notice the nut thief, the tree jumper, the swift leaper. So, of course, that's a squirrel. They jump around in trees and they're very swift leapers. Notice the squabbling sparrows or the chatter at Lullaby's laundromat. That's a laundromat and a lot of people go, and there's always a lot of chatter in there. So this time we're going to try and use some of those techniques. So you've got to use the notice idea, notice da-da-da-da-da-da, but use a technique so we can see you trying alliteration or similes or personification or having a go at a kenning or name it. So there needs to be a technique in each idea, and you've got the phrase notice, and then you say what you want the reader to notice. Is it frozen, John?
It is indeed. We would do that. We would follow your instructions, but we can't because the paddler's
Notice the way the screen is now alive, ready to rock and roll. So you've got to have a go at one of those techniques. Or you might be able to combine more than one. I don't know. So name, school name. Remember to reread before you submit. Checking capital letter, full stop. And have you chosen your words carefully? And have you used a technique?
I'm trying to come up with. The similes. I'm the worst person in the world. I can never do similes by.
I know you always struggle with that one. Yellow bike pump stands like a bike pump's hard to do.
Yeah, like a sentry.
Yep, that'll do us.
Waiting for action. There you go. How's that? It's not the greatest, but it'll do.
They breathe life into things, don't they?
Yes.
So we got 284 people working, David.
Yeah, it's always frantic. We've got quite a lot coming through who are forgetting the full stop, by the way. We might just need a reminder about that.
Maria from Bolton Parish, notice the sweet smell of fresh flowers like glitter. So there's an opportunity for name it there, Maria. What sort of flowers?
Nice little similes coming in. I'm liking Sammy from Hawthorne. I like the crunch in your hungry mouth. Now try and do one where you use one of those techniques. Sienna, like the spotlight on a stage, like that. Ethany and Mason from Loatland, knit back and edit, please. I'm liking your idea, but you've missed out the full stop. Hindi, well done. Good name it. Blackpool. Reggie from Trithel, I like your coffee. It's a nice touch of alliteration. Well done, Max. Now, Archie and Chloe, the beautiful glistening sunset glistening over the hill, you've got a repetition in there. So you could nip back and edit that and change one of those glistenings.
Freddie from Havelock, what sort of flowers are they in the fields? Freddie and Eden, even.
I like your idea, Maria, of the satisfying raindrops hitting the ground silently like a pin. Nice little simile there. Michael and Elliot from Rothwell, the crunch of a twig beneath your feet. Now try and use one of the techniques, you two. Rosie, Noah and Ethan, you've missed a word out, I think, but you can go back and edit. Notice the shiny feathers falling from the slowly like a snail. You might mean falling slowly, I don't know, but nip back and edit that one. You're onto something. Oh, the king of the jungle roaring angrily and fearlessly. Well done, Blessing. Got the full stop in too.
Alana from Hallsville, notice the flowers opening their mouths at the beginning of spring. I really like the opening their mouths, but what sort of spring flowers are you thinking about? Would paint a much stronger image. And you might be able to come up with a simile, like notice the daffodils opening their mouths at the beginning of spring, like, and come up with a simile.
Ari and Freya, notice the fire producing more smoke as it goes on. Now that as it goes on doesn't add very much. I think you could change that goes to a stronger verb, as it billows, as it belches, as it flares. I don't know. You'll think of something. So you nip back and edit that one.
Isabel from Chorley St. James, notice the raindrops falling as you watch the Blackpool lights twinkling like. I'm wanting a simile there, Isabel.
Just
Evie.
it's worth noting again that we're about 50% coming through without full stops. I'm not going to publish any now that are without full stops.
Notice the shine. So if you've written one with no full stop, nip back and edit. Notice the shine on the back of the turtle's shell, the shell of the turtle. You need an apostrophe, as bright as the sun itself. I like your idea of the turtle's shell. I think you could challenge yourself, Evie, as bright as, try and think of something else that has that sort of gleam.
I'm going to mention Adela from Trithel, who's tried Kenning's pie. Notice the Christmas bird, the friendly flyer, the red belly bird.
Oh,
So
love
well
it.
done, Adela.
Who did that one?
Adela from Trithel.
Ah, I'm going to have a look at that. And Logan and Inkerman from Hawthorne have also gone for one. Notice the mud splasher and the loud snooter. I love that. The loud snooter.
It's great, isn't it?
It is. Well, great. Yeah, well done. Adela it was it?
Yes.
Red belly bird. I love that.
The red belly bird. I'm looking for it now. Oh, yes.
Naomi from Rothwell. Notice the midnight black cat creeping along the playground floor. Like, I'm wanting a simile there, Naomi. And notice the honeybee hovering above the smiling dandelion, inviting her to share the rich nectar and pollen. I was going to say, great, well done, Mr. Clark. But I think you could have added a simile.
Scarlet from Lowlands. Notice that the wind whispers to the trees. I've sort of heard it before, but it still works.
Okay, we're going to come out of the Padlet because we are zooming on time-wise. Some good stuff going on there. People trying to use techniques. Well done for a couple of you that tried to use Kennings. Didn't seem much in the way of personification is difficult, I think, but it's a good technique to use. Right, we're going to go back up to the session page and have a quick look at the gallery.
I think there's some nice things on the gallery. This was the making of the little books.
Yes.
Some people have obviously put up their actual piece of writing, but if you click on Nuala's there.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
I love that book cover. You can see the fold down the middle, John.
Yes, and I love the use of the sort of ink drawings and then the watercolor sort of pattern around it. That's really effective. I like that a lot, Nuala or Nula.
Or Nula. If you look at Sammy's from Dervaig as well to the left.
Yes, another one that's used the same technique.
Isn't it?
And I like the way they've sort of combined the name and the title, Beachcombing, into the actual design itself. Terrific stuff. That's really, really imaginative. And I really like those. Lauren's got one. In fact, look at all these fantastic book covers from Dervaig. It was a great technique they've used there. But there's others we've got loads, haven't we? We've got Trithel. Some great ones as well.
Lovely little books to make. And these, I think if something like poetry lends itself to making one of those mini books and copying it up, and you can keep it, of course. Got it forever.
Yes. And they make great for great displays as well.
Yeah. And lovely little presents, for your mum or your gran or whatever. A homemade book with a nice piece of writing in it. What a cracking present.
So we'll go and quickly look at the teacher notes for today. So today's poem could equally, if you didn't make a little book last week and you want to do that and feel inspired by what Dervaig and Trithel did there, you can absolutely go and do that again. But what have we got this week?
Well, because I'm lucky. I think I'm lucky. I live in the countryside. That has nice things about it, John, one of them being flowers. But if you look at that sunflower, I've sort of cut it in half. And I thought to myself, well, that would make actually quite a nice, big, bold, could be paints, could be chalks, could be pastels, because you've got, there it is. So you've got the sort of heart of the flower and then the petals coming out. And there's another one, big and bold. And that one so I've not done the whole thing. I've sort of done half of it or 3/4 of it. So you're choosing a design, get yourself the sort of center of it, and then maybe some rings around it. And the way I did it, John, was very careful little pencil, soft pencil drawing, first of all, just to get the basic shape. And then very careful use of pastels there, just blending in, having a little bit of fun with it, and thinking carefully about my colours.
Yeah, they would. And if you wanted to combine them with little books, they'd make great book covers too, wouldn't they, Pie?
They absolutely would, yes.
Really good book covers. And isn't there an American artist who does close-ups of flowers?
Yes.
I can't remember what it is. I've forgotten the name.
Yes, teacher, Georgia O'Keeffe.
That's the one, Georgia O'Keeffe. So some of her artwork would be a good thing to look at in association with this. So that's this week's
art challenge. It could be quite small, John, as you say, sort of the little mini book cover size, or you could do them as great big bits and then create a huge collage of them up as a nice display. So that's the challenge. And then if we go to the blog challenge, shall we just quickly look at that? And no surprise here. So I've called mine a simple request. So this is, a request is when you ask somebody to do something. It doesn't have to be. So this is all about thinking about the great things that we have that we'd like to celebrate. It doesn't have to be the green-winged orchid or speckles of winter jasmine, petals in the hedgerow, or the squabble of tawny owls in Tanner's Wood, which is just down there. It could be the glint of a crisp packet left in Farm Lane, or the silence between heartbeats, or even dust motes caught adrift in sunlight. And then I'm asking the reader to be curious as a cloud, those endless shift shapers. Notice how even the mundane, now the word mundane means ordinary. Notice how even the mundane can become memorable when seen afresh. Even a raindrop shines like a polished tear. Now, if you scroll down, John, there's some examples. No, it would be if we go to the notes.
Yes, I'll go back to the.
What I did in the notes was I put in a number of pieces by, and I'll read one. Yeah, there we are. So Mason, taking notice. So try and do an individual title so that they don't get muddled. And one way to do that is to find something in your poem that you could use. It doesn't have to be the froth of a cherry blossom tree, a red kite swooping with its dashes of red, the sparkle of Venus in the midnight light, the orange sky in the morning sun, or a peacock flashing its feathers rainbow bright. It could be the twig off a tree, a few pebbles off the golden sands of Dale Beach, the sound of the rain sizzling, or the trees dancing in the wind. Just pay attention to the small things and gather a few words together to sing a song of nature.
I think really like that last line there, Pie. That's
it's clever, isn't it? Let's have a look at another one of these because they're all interesting. Noticing. So this is Luca. It doesn't have to be the lime vines crawling up a tree's spine, the green woodpecker's polka dot wings, the smooth fin of a bottlenose dolphin, or drops sliding down into a sparkling lake. It could be the ginger autumn tree marching from left to right, or the nettles that sting at every cell in your leg. Just pay attention and stop. Have you ever seen a beetle's veins? Through them rushes a world of light. They've really worked at those endings, haven't they, John?
Yeah, they really have. I'm very impressed with those. That's really great stuff. So that is today's blog challenge. Use Pie's model and use the examples in the notes. We'd love it if you can record those for audio purposes to play on next week's show. And we'd also love some great flower pictures in the gallery. So that's it for this week. We'll just mention commenting just quickly. If you go to the bottom of the right to the bottom of the homepage of TeachingLive, there's a couple of things going on here. One is the globe, where we can see there's lots of visitors on the globe at the moment, and you can see the red dots are where people have visited our website to read your work from, and you can see there are literally red dots all over the world. Obviously lots in Europe and lots in America, but they are literally all over the world. Quite a lot in Australia down there, look, and India. So there's that, and there's also, you can see latest comments, and you can see here where I've left comments on children's work, and you can leave comments yourself. And teachers, we would really encourage it if you could spend just a couple of minutes a week leaving the odd comment too, if you could. Really helps everybody. So here's one on a poem from, let's have a look. It was Chloe from Hawthorne. I really liked this poem. I particularly like the idea of the moon cutting through the misty sky. I thought that was quite a strong image. But my favorite one was this one. Lost on. Whoops, sorry about that. Clicked in the wrong place. I think there was an image in this particular poem, and this was Suki from Trithall. I spotted the tail of a rosy red fox like a sunset passing. And I thought that was a really great simile. And it's the sort of simile that I wished I could have made up when I was your age. So that's so do leave comments on blog posts if you can.
Just worth noting as well to teachers, John, that every single comment left is moderated by the team, so nothing can get through without us checking it first.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we are very good at that sort of thing. Anything to add, Pie?
No, lots of good ideas. Try to make yours individual. So choose very carefully. You can slightly change the it could be or notice if you can think of a better way of doing it. If not, just stick to my pattern. Read through the ones too, share the ones too written by the children that are in the teaching notes, and you can see how they've made them their own. Okay, look forward to seeing what you come up with. Look forward to seeing the art. Let's get more up on the audio, John. Okay, bye from me.
Time for break and time for a cup of tea. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone. Just to let you know, the Padlets will be live with everything on. They've had over